welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to make some spicy polenta with homemade marinara sauce this afternoon for a late lunch. Earlier I made tofu ricotta, and I have attached another video that shows how to make tofu ricotta. It's really easy. It only takes about 5 minutes. So that's ready to go, and we're going to top the polenta with that. I actually have pre-made or pre-packaged organic polenta here. You can make your own. It's really simple, but I bought this just because I saw it at the store and I thought, hey, it'd be good for some time when I'm in a hurry. So really what I'm going to focus on making right now is the sauce. So I'm just going to heat up my pan a little bit here. I'm going to put it on like medium low, and I'm going to heat that up for a couple minutes. So the ingredients that I have ready to go are one 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. I have some tomato paste. I'm not sure exactly how much of that I'm going to use just yet. It's going to kind of depend on how the sauce is going. I have salt, black pepper, parsley, basil, thyme, oregano, your classic Italian herbs, and I have some crushed red peppers. We're going to make this spicy. So I also sometimes add sugar to marinara sauce depending on how it goes. And I have one green bell pepper cut into cubes that we're going to add as well, and also one whole yellow onion chopped, which is what we're going to start with first of all. So here are about 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and I'm just going to pour that in my pan, and I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit and get it going. So it's starting to get warm, and in a second here I'm going to add the onions. We're going to saute them until they're translucent. So there's the onion. Now I'm going to turn the heat up till high. And we're just going to get those going. When they get close to being translucent, we're going to add the tomato paste. So my onions are starting to get translucent. And I actually already added like 2 cloves garlic. Just pressed in my garlic press. So now I'm going to slowly pour in the crushed tomatoes. Being careful not to splatter everywhere. Okay. I'm going to keep the can handy because sometimes you have to add a little bit of water. Okay, so I'm going to turn that back up. I had turned it down to like medium-high. So I'm going to turn it back up to high. I'm going to get some tomato paste here. I'm going to take about a spoonful of that. It's probably like 2 tablespoons. I'm going to put that in as well. And just really mix that in. Splattered a little sauce on my foot, but it's no big deal. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of water to this to just make some more sauce, make this go a little bit. So this can is filled up about a quarter of the way with water, maybe not even quite. Pour that in. Now I'm going to add my spices. I'm going to add a generous amount of sea salt. And same thing with black pepper. Just a little bit of oregano. There's already oregano in the tofu ricotta, so I don't want it to be overpowering with oregano. And the same thing with thyme, just a little bit of thyme. There's not a lot of that, there's none of that in the tofu ricotta, but it's kind of strong. What we are going to put a generous amount of in is basil. We want this to be the primary seasoning. That's definitely well over a tablespoon of basil. And then I'm going to add some parsley as well. Dried parsley. Maybe like a teaspoon or a half tablespoon or something like that. And then I'm going to stir this together. Oh my gosh, we cannot forget the crushed red pepper. It will be spicy. How could I? Gotta make it spicy. Eating spicy food increases your metabolism, so I try to eat as much spicy food as possible. We can take all the help we can get, right girls? So, I'm just going to stir this up really well. be careful not to let it splash too much. Okay. Now I'm going to get a spoon and I'm going to taste it because I want to see if I need to add anything else. So I'll be back. Okay, so I'm going to give this a taste here. Just going to see if it needs anything. It does. I'm trying to figure out what though. I think maybe a little sugar, just a touch. Definitely more basil, more salt, more pepper, more red pepper. So I'm going to add that stuff now. Definitely more basil. That was a lot. That might be too much. More salt, and that's the end of my salt, so hopefully that's enough. And more black pepper for sure. I think we're good on the thyme and the oregano. And definitely more of this. And then I think I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. I have some vegan sugar right here. Yes, there's a difference between vegan sugar and refined sugar. Refined sugar is not vegetarian. So if you want to find out more information about that, just Google it. I'm not going to get into it right now, but anyway. I'm just putting in a teaspoon of sugar. I don't want it to be sweet. Too sweet. Much better. I don't think it needs anything else. I think it's going to be good. So I'm turning it up a little bit, and I'm going to turn it up and I'm going to let it come to a simmer. You have to be careful and watch it because it will kind of bubble and spatter a little bit. So I'm going to turn this up. I'm going to cook it. I'm going to probably leave it like this for like 10 minutes. Maybe 15, and then I'm going to add the peppers. I'm going to let those cook in there for probably another 10 or 15 minutes. And meanwhile, while I'm doing that, I'm going to start slicing the polenta. So that's just what's going to happen in the next few minutes. So for now, I'm just going to kind of clean this up. I'm going to let this simmer, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. Here's our marinara sauce in the making. So my marinara sauce has been simmering on medium-low for about 10 minutes. I'm going to stir in the green peppers now. And as you can see, I covered it up a little bit to prevent splattering. I just sort of set this lid on. And once those are tender, the sauce will be pretty much ready. It doesn't take too long. About a half an hour. This is just a quick marinara sauce. And I'm probably going to go ahead and turn the heat up a little bit. It's at like medium now. I'm going to keep my lid handy in case it starts to splatter again. And then I'm going to move on I'm going to preheat my oven to 375. I've covered up my sauce and I have it on low. It's just kind of simmering here. And I'm going to slice my polenta. Move this out of the way. So it comes in like a tube shape like this. So I'm just going to slice off about a 1/4 inch thick pieces. And I don't know if I mentioned this before or not, but it is fairly simple to make your own polenta. You just use like yellow corn grits and you boil them on the stove, and then you press them into a baking, like a glass baking dish, and then you bake them. So it's pretty easy. So I'm just gonna set this down in the bottom of this casserole here. So you can use polenta for a lot of different things. I'm using it sort of as like a substitute for pasta here. Now I'm going to top it with my tofu ricotta that I made a few minutes ago. put a generous amount of this on here. So this is my polenta dish covered with the tofu ricotta. And I didn't use it all. As you can see, there's probably a good cup and a half left that I could use for a small personal pizza topping, which is probably what I'll do. Okay, so my sauce is just about done. I'm just gonna turn it off. I'm just gonna cover this. We'll see if I can do it without spilling. So I'm just gonna cover my mixture here with the sauce. Spread it around a little bit. Filling in some holes, making sure it's covered really well. We've got all the goodies, lots of green peppers. Missing some over here. Might have a little left of this too, which is fine. I can use this in a pasta dish or a personal pizza like I said. So here is my casserole ready to go in. I topped it with some Daiya vegan cheese, some mozzarella style. Daiya is, in my opinion, the only vegan cheese that is worth anything. It's not homemade. And it's available at Whole Foods and health food markets. It's preheated and my polenta casserole is ready. So I'm going to put this in the oven. And I'm going to bake it for about 40 minutes. Then it'll be lunchtime. I'm excited. I'm starving. So I'm going to set my timer for 40 minutes. And we'll take about 35 minutes to bake this. So I did keep an eye on it and I took it out a little bit early. It's been cooling now for about 10 minutes and I am really excited to try it. So I'm just going to scoop it out onto a plate. Make sure I get a little bit of everything here. And I'm going to dig in and enjoy this delicious meal. So here we have it. See if that's still kind of hot. So let me just give this a taste. Hopefully it turned out. Success! Thanks so much for stopping by Kat's Kitchen today. I definitely suggest making the polenta casserole for a Sunday dinner. You can add a spinach salad to start or just some kind of green salad to start and then pair this with some homemade garlic bread and you've got a nice family dinner. So thanks for stopping by Kat's Kitchen. See you soon!